Did you know there are 7 different types of rest? Now, in this conscious parenting live, I'm going to go through what they are and how you can excuse me, incorporate them into your everyday life. I'm just going to move my mic a bit closer. So, 7 different types of rest. Um, so they are before I came on live, I was just thinking, I'm going to break it down. And when I said the word in my head, break it down, immediately I went into that song, do 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 do, can't touch this, which has that break it down, that bit in it. And so I thought I'd let you know that because one of the types of rest is creative rest, and I feel like I'm being quite creative and just sharing with you what goes through my head, my crazy head. So I'll go through, I will break it down, the 7 different types of rest we have. Got my list here. Creative rest, mental rest, sensory rest, physical rest, social rest, emotional rest, and spiritual rest. They're not in any particular order. And I went with creative first because I was breaking it down. So during this video, this Conscious Parenting Live, I will go into a bit more detail of what that might like, break down what that might look like in your everyday life. Because as I record this, I am preparing to go away actually for a whole week. I am going away for a whole week and on my own. And this hasn't happened since my children were born. I haven't been away on my own for a whole week. Um, and my eldest, at this point of recording, this is 14, soon to be 15. So this is massive. And I recognize as I come into I've just turned 50 as well. And one of my word for this year is reclaim. And one of the things is for me to reclaim some time for myself, to nurture myself, to fill my cup up. And so I am going away for a whole week. And I get that not everybody can do that, that's quite a difficult thing for most parents to do, to carve out that time, for a number of reasons. So in this Conscious Parenting Live, it's amazing. Actually, before I go into the day-to-day ways that you can use this, I was thinking about me going away for a week and thinking about, well, what kinds of rest will I be getting? Um, I will definitely be getting mental rest. I think I'll have the opportunity for sensory rest if I want it. F Physical rest, creative rest, social rest, emotional rest, and potentially spiritual rest. So I think this week will cover all of them. So I'm hoping I come back from it feeling very well rested, very well nurtured, very well filled up. So let me go through these different types of rests in terms of what that might look like on a day-to-day basis, particularly, how you can get moments of that because sometimes we can feel like I haven't got time to rest. I have to just keep going and keep going. But if you have some ideas of how you can break that down to be topping yourself up with um micro moments of rest as well. And I talk a little bit more about micro moments in the Conscious Parenting Live I did about avoiding parenting burnout. So let's start off with creative rest. So, that could be journaling, it could be knitting, it could be playing an instrument, it could be um, anything that feels creative for you. And again, we don't have to do that for a long period of time. You could do 5 minutes. You could pick up your ukulele. I have a ukulele and play it for 5 minutes. which will give you that break, and that change of scene and that creative rest. So actually, I'm going to look at all of these in, well, not all of, well, so there's these things you can do in like 5 minutes, and there's also, you could do these things for a longer period of time. But I think for parents, it can be a barrier when you think, well, it's not going to be valuable unless I do it in like an hour's meditation. Um, but actually, 5 minutes can make a difference to you. So creative rest we've covered. Mental rest I'm going to go to. And you'll notice there'll be crossovers with certain things. So mental rest, I've written down on here that meditation, like a 5-minute meditation, could come under mental rest. And of course, meditation could also come under spiritual rest. Are there any others? Just thinking. Could come under emotional rest as well. So there are some activities that might come under more than one heading, so might cross over with other things. So mental rest, so giving your brain a chance to just not have to be working stuff out all the time. And doing a mundane task can help with this, I think, as well, like doing the dishes, or watching TV can provide mental rest. Television and films can be quite a sedative, which can be a useful self-regulation tool, Um, and I know people talk a lot about the dangers of too much screen time and things like that. And I think let's not demonize using screen time to rest. So, gaming could be mental rest as well, playing a game. Uh, um, yeah. Or and actually, if I think about gaming, it could be mental rest, or depends on what the game is you're playing. It could also um, give you you might have to think about things in that, but um, but it can be creative rest, it can be social rest. It probably yeah, social and creative as well. That those could also fit into. Okay. So yes. So screens and TV can be a useful way of switching off. I actually quite like to watch a rom-com, which helps me. I don't have to think. They're very formulaic, does not engage my brain particularly. I pretty much know what's going to happen, and it can just give me a rest, you know. Um, sensory rest. So with sensory rest, something like taking a nap or having a cup of tea, having a brew. Doesn't take a lot of time. You can sit and have a few minutes to drink a warm, hot, or sometimes cold cup of tea and just have a rest from everything that's going on. Um, and I think meditation can also give us a sensory rest. Physical rest. So with physical rest, it's really interesting because um, with physical rest, it's this sense of resting by being physical, by doing physical things, right? So I love dancing. So dancing could be physical rest, or doing yoga, or doing a sport, playing tennis, or again, having a nap could be physical rest as well, could be really, doing a tension relaxation exercise. Again, doesn't have to take that long. You could spend 5 minutes doing that just to rest your body. And I've also done a conscious parenting live on tapping. Uh, and so, tapping can also provide some physical rest. And again, you can do that like in a few seconds or a few minutes. You can do emotional freedom technique or tapping, things like that. I've already done creative rest, social rest. So that is, um, there can be two sides to that. There can be um, looking out for ways of being social. So you're resting from other things by topping yourself up with social activities. So you know, for me, like dancing does that. It's a social activity, meeting with friends, going for a walk with a friend or something. Um, yeah. But also with social rest, there could be you might have no spoons left and need to be away from social activity. So you might need to be resting from social activities. So, staying home and reading a book or, yeah, just doing something, having time to yourself that doesn't require you to be there for anybody else or socially interact with your family or friends. Um, and and again, you could just take 10 minutes just to read a book, um, be with yourself. I think meditation can be helpful in quite a lot of these from the social rest one as well. Um, Emotional rest. So with this one, the thing that I thought of was I often go in, I love being in circle. I love women's circles or mixed circles or um, so things like that can be emotionally resting, where there's space for you to release your emotions or process your emotions. For me, being out in nature can do that. Being by the sea can give me, a sense of this emotional rest. I just feel like when I'm by the sea, I just let everything go. It's so lovely. So having a dip in the sea can be emotional rest for me and can also fit into a few others as well. Yeah, that can also for me fit into spiritual rest. So for me, being in nature, listening to the birds singing. I was stood by a bush in the garden the other day and just listening to and watching the bees going in and collecting the nectar. For me, that can be a real spiritual rest. Some people pray, some people go to church or a mosque or a temple. Um, you know, and what's beautiful about a prayer is that you can do it anywhere, you know. You don't have to go somewhere special to do it, and you can do it in a few moments. Um, so for people, who are religious, they might pray. For people who aren't religious, you might set intentions. That's a spiritual rest or a spiritual practice to set an intention to think about um, how you want things to be, to think about how you want to be showing up in the world, taking a few moments to think about those things. Spiritual rest can be meditation, spiritual rest can be making music, you know. Um, and so I think it can be really helpful to think about these different types of rest and how you might fit those into your everyday life, so that you can be getting the rest you need. And it might be that listening to this list, that you might have just been getting one type of rest, and realize that actually sitting for 5 minutes and just journaling or painting or knitting or something gives you that creative rest, you know. Um, so yeah, so I'd be interested to hear how this has landed with you, what you're taking away from this. Is this giving you some ideas for how you might um, top yourself up with different kinds of rest? Maybe you've just been doing one kind of rest, and different types of rest would be helpful for you. Um, so Let me know if you found this useful. If you know anybody that you think, ah, this would really help them as well, please do forward it, share it, like and subscribe to this channel so you get more conscious parenting lives as well. And I'll see you here another time for another one.